Hello, welcome back. This is Bill Coley, pastor at First Christian Church in East Moline, talking about FCCEMConnect, the forum that we have created to enhance communication and connection between the people of our church and people who are interested and curious about our church. This is the main page, and we have gone through several things in previous videos. I invite you to look at those if you find any interest in them. This is the layout of the page, the name of the forum. If you're registered and signed in, your username will show up here. These are the different categories that we have. We talked about creating posts in each of these in a particular category. And today I want to talk about responding to, not today, in this video, I want to talk about responding to a post. So I've created down here in the questions and comments about the Bible, you'll see that the number is 2, meaning there's a post in addition to the welcome post in this thread. So I want to go into this, click this category here, and lo and behold, here's the question: what is your favorite book of the Bible? Okay, so I want to reply to that. Well, first I want to read it, and I want to read it just by clicking it. That wasn't a very good click. That's a good click. And so here's the subject matter, and this is a post that I've created, of course, just for a test. The post says, what is your favorite book, Bible book, and why? And then there's a little testimony from me that says the Old Testament book of Job is my favorite and why. Now let's say that I have read this and I want to respond to it. That'd be good. I'll be able to respond to it if I am signed in, if I have an account and have properly logged in. Now there are a couple of ways to do this. One is you can simply click Add Reply, and that takes you to a blank screen, and you can give a title to your post and respond. And so I could say this is my reply to the question about favorite Bible book. Then I could come down here and click and then give my response. If I was happy, remember we talked about last time, previewing the post, sending the post, and let's just see what that looks like. Okay, and I want to go back. I'm going to use this to go back to the main screen. Here's the questions about, and now we have 2 topics, the original topic plus the question, and but 3 posts. And so I click here under questions and comments about the Bible. Here's the, what is your favorite book of the Bible? But now it has a reply. Okay, this one doesn't have any replies. It has the original post, but it has no replies. This one has a reply. I click here, and here's the original post, and here's the response that I created. This one's not quite as cogent as this one, but we will leave that out. Okay, but let's say I read this one. Let's say it now. I'm another user, and I want to respond to this. I could, again, just add a reply, just like I did before, and it would show up kind of like this. It would be below, it would be in the same thread, okay? It would be below here somewhere, but it wouldn't have any of this information. I would have to go back here and reread this if I wanted to, or remember it to make sure that I was responding to the question. So a second way to launch your reply is to click this quote button, or plus quote, add a quote with your reply. Okay, so this is the one that I want to reply to. I don't want to reply to this one. This one's too philosophically sophisticated for me. So I want to reply to this one. I just hit the plus or add a quote button, and look what happens. Here, here's the same screen I had before, where I can give this is my reply to your question about Bible. Oh man, I can't even type. Okay, now it's the same layout, everything, except now here in this yellow background box, we have the original, we have the post to which I am replying. Okay, and we know who wrote it, somebody named admin, which happens to be me. So I could come down here and post my response. Okay, and so I can use all the formatting things just as before. Now I'm done responding to this question. And the reason I put this here is now I know exactly what I'm responding to, and it's a nice visual for other people reading my posts. If I get down here and I'm satisfied after previewing it, I click send. I want to go, whoops, I want to go back to the main page, and now we have again, 2 topics, but 4 posts. So I click in here to go back to it, and now I see 2 replies to the question of the original question. And you'll notice that what happens here, notice the difference between this one, which doesn't have that yellow background box up here, and this one, which does. So, and this one makes clear that admin wrote these words up here. I wrote this as the new poster, but admin wrote this stuff up here. Okay? So now, let's say I'm yet another user. I'm going to create a reply to this original question. I could also reply to any of these particular, any of these other posts in the thread if I want. So I'm going to do what we did here, click the add a quote. Same result. I can come up here and this is my reply. Whatever, you can put any title that you want here. And so now I get the same quote, but let's say I want to respond separately to this sentence and then this sentence. So here's what I can do. This is a little more sophisticated. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, of course. So you can just leave this entire quotation there if you want. But I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to use my mouse to select this entire second line. Okay, just highlight it. And then hit Control X to delete it and put it to the clipboard. I'm going to use the backspace here just to clean that up a little bit, move my cursor down, and now I'm going to respond to this particular sentence. Okay, I'm responding just to this part of the original quoted sentence. Okay, and let's say that's my answer. I'm going to put a little separation here, maybe 3 lines, it doesn't matter. And now I want to respond to the other line in the sentence, and I just click this quote button, and I don't have to, and I could say admin, because admin is the person, the poster who did the original work, and I just click inside here on this line underneath admin, and I click Control V to paste that line that I X'd out a few seconds ago. Okay, so now I can respond specifically to this second line or second paragraph, and I can put my response in here. Okay, now if this original post was multi-line, you know, there was a 20 or 30 lines, I could highlight one particular line for here, one particular line from here. I wouldn't have to respond to all of them. I wouldn't have to quote all of the lines. I could just quote particular ones, but it would all start. And it would all start by hitting that quote button. Let's go back to that and see. So now I'm done. I've responded to the 2 lines that I wanted to respond to. I'm satisfied. I've previewed it. I click send. Now we're going to end up back at the main page. You'll see we've been updated another post in this thread. Now let's do something. Here's the topic. I'm yet another user. I can read these, and you see how here's the first line that I quoted in my response, the second line I quoted in response. Let's do one other example, because it's useful too if I want to quote some but not all of this post. Add the quote. Familiar scene. Let's just say I don't care about those words the title of this post says at all. Okay, I'm just going to leave that. So I'm just going to select that, and now I'm going to use my mouse, or you can use the keyboard shortcuts to Control X, get rid of it and put it to the clipboard. I'm going to clean that up by removing the extra hard returns. Now I'm going to respond to that particular line. Put some line, add the quotation back, and I know that admin is the one who wrote the words I'm about to quote. So I put that here. I come in here. All right, now this is the second line. Now let's say I don't want to respond. I don't want to quote this entire line. So I use the same method. I just highlight the stuff that I want to remove, hit the delete key, and now I can respond just to that particular sentence. Here's my response to that particular sentence. Let's say I'm happy. I send it. Eventually it will tell me everything's fine. And I'm going to go back just to confirm that we've been updated. We now have 6 posts in this thread. Questions, comments, the Bible. Here's the thread itself. Here's the most recent one, and you notice that the highlighted sections are the ones that I wanted. The point is that you can, you can have no quoting of a line. You can quote the entire post that you are responding to. You can break that post that you're responding to up into sections using the Control X to post things, paste things to a clipboard, and then or copy things to the clipboard and then paste them. Or you can respond to specific sentences or sections. You don't have to respond. You don't have to quote the entire original post. Okay? Multiple ways to do it. They all end up with your name up here as the one who posted, and then your post here, and then someone else can come along, read your post, and do the same thing in response to your post. They can add a reply to it, or this would, if you click here, this adds a reply to the original thread, or the original quotation, or the original post, sorry. If I click this quotes this particular post. Okay? This quotes this, adds this particular post. Okay? All right. So there you go. That's adding a post to a thread that's responding to someone's post in the thread. Hope that makes sense. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to you posting and responding in FCCEMConnect. Blessings to you, and bye-bye.